Probably one of the most difficult things to try and summarise this trip in such a short period of time. We're back here in the first village that we started in. As you can probably see, still sat among the rubble of what was someone's house. And what's more amazing is, as far as the eye can see, it's such a flat landscape. We've walked around, nothing but destruction for the last three and a bit days, and it's still hard to believe that water caused this much damage. It's something I would have expected to have seen from a war zone or a record-breaking earthquake, but not water. I wouldn't have expected to see every single house flattened, iron girders bent in half. It's really hard to believe, even though we're sat amongst it still. The mind boggles as to what it was like for those who were here, and thankfully those who have survived it.
The family were telling us, they were saying the time was 3 o'clock in the morning. The whole family, a family of 8, were fast asleep. Then all of a sudden, just like that, because of the heavy rains, the riverbanks burst and the water started gushing through the village, literally taking away everything that came in front of it. And just to give you an idea of the force of the water, you know, as you've probably seen in some of our videos, there were steel girders that were bent into a U shape just by the force of the water. So if a steel girder was bent like that, imagine a house made of mud, that would have no chance. So the family were telling us the water started gushing through the house at such a pace, they literally could not do anything. In a split second, they had to decide, what do we take and what do we leave behind? So obviously your belongings become secondary. So they left all their belongings behind, and they just took their family members by the hand and they fled to the highest point they could find, which in that village happened to be the school. And they were the fortunate ones, because we've heard in other villages, people were not in a position to even take their family members. You know, family members were left to drown, you know, they were taken away with the current from the floods.
The flooding has made, it's just, I've got no words. It's been devastating to see such devastation and people living in such conditions. Alhamdulillah, we've been able to supply them with necessary and vital aid.
The faces of the children and the elderly, there's people who are unwell who are smiling, and all the du'as and the thanks that they're making there for you back home. They know that without your kind and generous donations, none of this would have been able to take place. So hopefully in some way we've depicted that back to you. Hopefully in some way you can feel the joy and happiness you've brought to lives here. And this is why we keep asking you to support the work we're doing. We were told by local charities here that nobody blinked an eyelid in the direction of the villages that we've travelled to and the villagers that we've met. They were completely left out. They wouldn't have received any aid, and it's thanks to you they have. You've made such a difference to their lives, and I really hope that what we do has shown you how much of a difference you've made to their lives. And I don't think what we could do could quite show you the catastrophic nature of what's left of their villages. Their yesterday was destroyed.
When we first came here, they had absolutely nothing. The total village was destroyed. Everything that they had, any houses that they had built, mud houses, all been flattened. So upon asking them what these tents and this aid meant to them, they said it was life-saving. You know, they prayed from their hearts and made du'as from their hearts for all those who donated, and they said that this here, you know, they were sitting outside, had nothing to take shade upon. Their children had to sit outside. There was absolutely nothing. But with these tents now, alhamdulillah, they've been able to give their families shelter and a little bit of privacy as well.
Spoken to the families in this area in particular, and the main thing they needed was 2 items. The first was clean drinking water, because a lot of the issues actually come from not having clean drinking water. They didn't ask for a house, they were asking for outdoor toilets, because for them, this is something that protects your dignity. You know, when your sisters, your wives, your daughters, they have to go and defecate out in the open. You know, this is undignified and not something that we should be doing. So for that reason, they said that's actually more important than a house. So in this area in particular, that's the 2 things we'll be focusing on. So please, as you have done in the past, please continue to support the work we're doing here at Jigsaw. Help us to help these families and help us to create a better world, piece by piece.
hopefully there'll be a brighter tomorrow for these people as well. Jazakallah khair. Continue to support Jigsaw, making the world a better place, piece by piece.
Brothers and sisters, donate towards this cause and help these people so we can provide them with necessary aid that's that is life-saving. Jazakallah khair. Jigsaw, a better world, piece by piece.